trade secrets, what are patents, and how are they different? Hi, we're going to be talking today about the differences between trade secrets and patents and when you should use one of them or the other, why you should use certain ones, why do you want them, and much more. I'm Derek Fahey. I'm a patent and IP attorney with the Plus IP firm, and this video is going to be all about the differences between patents and trade secrets. Well, first off, let's talk about the difference between the two. So a patent is actually a document that discloses how to make and use something if it's a utility patent. And on the other hand, a trade secret keeps something secret. You actually can't tell anybody. You have to keep it actually secret and take reasonable measures to keep it a secret. So, well, what's the big deal, right? Well, first off, a utility patent protects the functional feature of something, how something works. Trade secrets actually can also protect functional features of things or different processes, but it's kept secret. And in patent law, you actually have to disclose the information properly to get a monopoly on certain things. And the government grants that monopoly when you file a patent application about what you consider is your invention. Now, on the other hand, a trade secret, you don't actually have to file anything. You actually have to keep it secret. One of the best examples I could think of for a trade secret is the Coca-Cola formula and how they make Coca-Cola. That is actually kept a trade secret. What's interesting about Coca-Cola is that no one person actually knows the entire secret. It's siloed in different areas so that nobody knows. And there are certain people that know certain components of it, but not one person knows the entire formula. And that's $1 billion formula, okay? You can actually keep things secret, like know-how, how to actually make a product. Another thing that's kept secret quite a bit and is considered a trade secret is in material sciences, how to make certain things. So for example, if you're going to make a material and you heat it and then cool it, that thing is kept a trade secret because you don't want people to know how you actually make that particular product. Now, trade secrets, one of the difficult things about trade secrets is actually keeping secret. Not everything that you're going to be able to get a utility patent on, you're going to be able to get a trade secret on or have a trade secret on. For example, if you make a product like a cell phone case, the functionality of the cell phone case, you're not going to be able to, or it'll be very difficult to keep that a secret because someone can take it, reverse engineer it, and then actually know how to make and use it. What is more appropriate for trade secrets are, like I just mentioned, formulas for different drug combinations, different algorithms that you don't want people to know about, and for your software you can keep certain things like that secret in certain ways by password protecting it. Another thing that can also be considered a trade secret, like I mentioned before, are different formulas, customer lists, other things that you can actually prevent people from knowing, okay? And it can be very powerful and very valuable information. So that is something you need to evaluate if you should want to get a patent on it or try to get a trade secret. There are certain times when you may actually want to keep the information secret, but you may also want to try to get a patent. For example, if you actually believe that you're entitled to a patent based on a particular way you're actually going to reduce, let's just say in the software space, there's a way you can actually reduce processing time with your system, with your hardware system that only your company knows about. You could actually file a patent application for the functionality of that if you want to try to get a patent on it, and file what's called a non-publication request. By filing the non-publication requests, it basically prevents the application from being published until the patent issues. Now, why that's important is that if you do that, then you actually are able to make sure that you're able to get a patent before you actually disclose it publicly. That's really important because if you don't do that, the patent application will publish. On the other hand, well, in the same kind of case, if you aren't able to get a patent, it actually does not publish, and you're able to keep the information a trade secret and do all the things that you need to do to keep a trade secret. Now, one of the things you would need to do, or the biggest thing, is to make sure that how this is actually identified in your company as to what is a trade secret, written down somewhere. And then you need to limit the access to people who have access. If you're a large company and everybody has access, it's probably not going to be considered a trade secret. If you're a small company and you limit the access, or if you're a small company, you may not need to limit the access to all the people, but you do have to take certain reasonable measures. And what I mean by that is you have to make sure that the information is password protected, that anybody that actually is using or has access to it has signs non-disclosure and confidentiality agreements not to disclose it. You need to do things like that to make sure that it's kept secret. So patents and trade secrets are literally polar opposites. One requires full disclosure, and the other, you need to keep it a secret. So just something to think about. Where it gets fun for me is deciding whether to keep it a secret or try to get a patent on it, and using the non-publication requests to make sure that we can ensure that we get a patent before we actually disclose it, in order to make sure that if we need to, we can still keep it secret. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me and my firm. So please, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and take care, everybody.